Hey guys. Hey, hey. Okay. All right. I am trying out StreamYard again. We're going to see if this works this time. Okay, so today I want to share with you guys kind of something that I have been working through myself and something that I work through with my clients all the time, but this is a major roadblock for so many people because we are just so used to kind of putting ourselves down in a way and not harnessing our full potential. So, we're going to talk about crushing self doubt and what that looks like and life tips to start crushing it, even if you are just new to this. Maybe you're not even aware that you are, filling yourself with self doubt. Maybe you don't know that. Maybe you're not aware that that's what it is. So, you know, for me, I've been doing this my entire life. And as I grow and as I, continue to go to the next level of my life, there's more and more and more of it to work through as you exit your comfort zone, right? As you exit what you're doing things that you've never done before. So of course your ego's freaking out, right? And there's a lot of, rooted things as to why we are feeling the way that we're feeling. So with that being said, the goal with crushing our self-doubt isn't to get rid of all of our negative feelings and thoughts. You know, that's impossible, right? Like we can't, there's always going to be new negative feelings and thoughts that pop up. But what we are going to change is our response to them and how we handle them. So what's really important is to, be gentle with yourself as you're going through this and as you are working through these roadblocks that are coming up. So I think that the number one thing again is just being aware that you are having self-doubt and what does it look like, right? Because most of us probably don't even know what it looks like. So you know ask ask why why we are feeling this self-doubt. Curiosity doesn't give us room for judgment. So if we are constantly judging ourselves, whenever we enter curiosity over judgment into our minds, we're able to take that and kind of just dig into it, right? And dig into it and figure out where it's coming from and where it's stemming from and connect the dots looking backward. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an example as to what happened to me recently. For me, this, like I said, this has come up in many ways, but over the last, couple weeks ago or so, I started, as I am, doing new things in my life and doing things that people have said that I can't do. I have been waking up in the middle of the night with this overwhelming, like punch in the gut, punch in the face type of feeling of, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's never going to work. You can't do this. You can't do that. All of this just like bullshit, right? Um, and it's like it kind of shocks you because number one, you're sleeping, right? And you're not really thinking that, you don't think that you're thinking that yourself. During the day, I was all like, yes, I got this, let's go. I know exactly what I'm doing, exactly who I'm helping, this is right. Like I'm feeling more aligned than I've ever felt before. And then at night I would wake up in the middle of the night with just these thoughts of just, no, you can't do this, you're going to fail, all of these things, right? So think about it like, for some people, like if they have a major test coming up or something and, they're really freaking out about it and they wake up, in the middle of the night thinking, well, you're going to fail. You're not going to do this, So there's many different aspects of our lives that can relate to self-doubt and where it stems from, where it's coming from, or what creates it. Okay. And what we have to look at is, again, invigorate it with curiosity and say, where is this coming from? Why do I have this self-doubt? Why do I believe that I can't do this? Who is saying that I can't do this? Okay. And a lot of time, it's that inner critic of ours that, has been brought up, so to say, from maybe childhood things, or, things that other people are doing, or maybe gaslighting, maybe, the way that, your parents have talked to you, or other people, have just dominant people in your life that have just been discouraging. Maybe you're hanging out around a lot of people that are filled with self-doubt, not willing to do anything, So again, this is all just being aware of why and what your surroundings are and where it is coming from, So, we need to, whenever we're feeling this, I know whenever I was going through this, I kept feeling this resistance. Like it was stopping me, because this is it. This is what I'm doing. This is right. This is the exact right path for me. And this was coming up, all this resistance. And then I had this other little voice in my head saying, yeah, you need to do it. That's why you need to do it. So break through this wall. So, a lot of times our self-doubt, it's the greatest obstacle to our success. And whenever we cave into it, we kind of just reaffirm that I can't do it mentality. And I can't, I won't ever get there, or I'm not worthy enough. Okay. And this goes back to being worthy and feeling worthy of what we're doing. So, I think that it's really important to realize that whenever you are having this self-doubt, it does not define who you are or what you are capable of. Okay, not at all. It doesn't define anything. It basically is just shining a light on what needs to change. Okay, and for you to get to where you want to go, what do you need to do? So whenever we are doing this, this we have to rewire our brain. We have to create a new neural pathway to a new supported belief. Okay, because right now we are wired to that self-doubt. So we need to take that wire and take it somewhere else. So it's basically like if you're, you have two highways and you're driving on this highway that's leading to nothing or crap, right? Like if there's a dead end there, like you're not going anywhere. And then there's this other highway, that's high speed, ready to go. And once we jump on the new highway with the new belief system, the other one starts to crumble. Okay. And this is amazing because, what happens when we do this is this belief system, this new belief system that we are creating for ourselves through affirmations, through, just a new completely way of thinking, rewiring ourselves, it overtakes that insomnia that we might have waking up in the middle of the night, that anxiety, those intrusive thoughts, those, that depression, like all the things. Okay. So it overtakes that. And, whenever we do this, whenever we rewire our brain, we cut off those old thoughts at the source. When we cut off those old thoughts at the source, then we completely enter into this new identity of ours. Okay. And, what do you want that new identity to look like? All right. So think about, what is the opposite of self-doubt? The opposite of self-doubt is confidence. Okay. And this is what I do with my clients, right? So if we are working towards confidence, what happens when we feel confident in ourselves? We take more chances, we take more risks, we take more, we go further, we push ourselves further. If what would we do if we wouldn't fail, right? So if you didn't have that voice in your head telling you you can't do this. So it's really important to, again, be aware. And of course, whenever we're in this space and not feeling confident and feeling the self-doubt, when we don't feel worthy of what we want out of life, when we don't feel worthy of our dreams, our goals, or whatever we're going after or doing, it could be something so simple or something so big. Okay. We are all in different places. So, someone that had a really hard childhood growing up and was basically told that they were nothing is going to have a harder time than someone that might be just, wanting to do something simple, something new, whatever that has already had, experience and confidence. But the thing is, it's all the same. It's all the same work. Okay. It's the same system that needs to be applied. It's just some people might have to do a little bit more work to get to this confident feeling state than other people do. Okay. So don't ever judge yourself for where you are in your journey with this, because as someone who started at the bottom of having zero confidence that I could do a damn thing, other than, or I should say, I had my higher self saying, this is what you're going to do with your life, but then every other aspect of my whole self was just like would sabotage. Okay. And that's what we need to really watch is, the symptoms of self-doubt. Like what is that, right? So, when we don't feel worthy of anything, we don't ask for what we need or want. We don't, we're not confident that we could even have it. So we don't even bother asking. And that's half the battle. So once we're able to do that, it changes things for our entire lives. Again, we're stepping into this new confident identity of who we are. So, you have to work consistently to believe in yourself and stay committed to your dreams, especially when things get scary and that self-doubt, insecurities, when they all come knocking at your door. So, you have to work consistently to believe in yourself. This isn't something that anyone else can do for you. And I know with my clients, I can give them the tools, I can give them the recipe, but they have to implement it in their own lives, right? They have to be the ones that are saying, whenever that thought creeps in, oh, wait, no, I'm going to cut you off and I'm going to put in my new affirmation, right? So I can't do that for anyone, but I can promise you that it works when you do, because I'm proof of that. There's millions of other people that are, but, it's just self-doubt. It kills more dreams than failure ever would or ever did. So there's so many people out there, that that are afraid to do things because it's so sad because they just don't have the confidence in themselves. They just keep doubting themselves. And the funny thing is that the truth bomb of it is that you're sitting there doubting yourself, and there are many, many, many other people out there that are intimidated by your potential. And a lot of times whenever we are in that self-doubt mode, we listen to those people. And the only reason those people are, maybe telling us we can't do it or whatever is because they are intimidated by our potential. And they're never going to tell you that, right? They're just going to try to continue to bring you down to their level. So again, this is really important whenever you are focusing on being confident, being mindful of who you are surrounding yourself with. If you're surrounding yourself with people who could care less if you succeed, who are not encouraging you to succeed, who want to, maybe act like they care, and then once you start doing things, bring you down. I've had this happen to me so many times, you guys. I can't even tell you how many friends I've cut out of my life because of this. Because as soon as I would go for it, they would sit there and say, well, you're going to ruin your life. You can't do this, and I don't put up with that. I don't tolerate that in my life. So again, be very mindful and always choose you. Choose yourself whenever, you're doing this, because otherwise those people that are telling you that you can't and that are filling yourself with self-doubt, I don't think that they are going to be there for you when you need them, maybe down the line, whenever you're in the same position you were maybe 5 years ago, right? So it's something to keep in mind whenever you are focusing on your confidence. And even if it's, a lot of times I myself and many of my clients have had the situation where, it's our family that are filling us with self-doubt. And that stems from a lot when it is like whenever these situations come up and the self-doubt is coming from your family, a lot of times it's because the family, they are technically the closest to you, right? Like they've probably been around you the most, right? And a lot of times you'll see they are either very encouraging because they want you to do better than them, or they will hold you back because they don't want you to. Okay, they don't want you to outshine them. And this might sound like, oh my God, what parent would think that way? Like who would do that to their kid? I know many, and so it's just being aware of where it's coming from, because again, finding the root cause, connecting the dots backwards. Okay, we don't know looking forward what's going to come up in our path that's going to cause self-doubt, but whenever we look backward, we can trace it and we are able to, pick up on maybe like a pattern from people, and again, allowing those type of people to rent space in your head is really crucial, and making sure that you are renting your space out to people who are lifting you up. So again, but of course, this does go down to rewiring your belief system, and reframing your old beliefs that are filled with self-doubt to, serve you and give you that new identity. So yes, that is your responsibility, but it is also your responsibility to cut off the sources of the self-doubt. So think about it like that. And just be mindful of, again, who you're spending your time with, what you're filling your mind with. And I always say, never take advice from people you are not willing to trade places with. And I say this because, there are a lot of people out there who aren't parents that want to give you parent advice. There are a lot of people out there who are divorced that want to give you marriage advice. There are a lot of people out there that are broke that want to give you financial advice, right? So because they think they know it all. But are they where you want to be? So that is the number one thing that you need to remember whenever you are, again, going through your self-doubt, picking it apart, and really, just getting over this obstacle, because it is possible. And, the ability to overcome resistance, self-sabotage, and self-doubt is way more important than talent. So think about this, if you have someone that is amazing at maybe playing the piano, but they don't believe that they can do it, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how skilled they are, because they're never going to do it because they don't believe that they can. Okay. This is why you have so many, people out there that are so confident in themselves, but they can't do shit, right? Like, or they don't want to, they're confident, but they don't want to do anything. So you got to, just kind of be mindful of that, so remember, just keep in mind that you are in control, and you decide what highway you're going on in your brain and where you are going in your life. Confidence is something that you can create within yourself. It is something that you can build up. It is something that will take you very far in life, as long as you are not caving in to the self-doubt and fear that comes with that. So for instance, sorry, I'm just checking over here to see if it was letting me see any comments, but it's, okay, I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, if anybody's commenting, I apologize. StreamYard I'm learning. I'm learning. Okay. But if I were to, over the last couple of weeks, as, I have gone through this, again, another phase of this, if I would have caved into that voice, waking up in the middle of the night, telling me that I'm not good enough, that I can't do this, that I'm not going to help anyone, that, it's stupid. I mean, I can't tell you the things that I woke up like hearing in my mind. If I would have caved into that, where would I be? I would not be here talking to you. I would not be here, sharing anything, because I would just cave into the fear of it. And your magic does not need to be shoved in a box. And, that ego, the ego loves self-doubt because it thinks it's keeping you safe. It thinks that it is, keeping you away from danger, whatever, all because it's unknown. What I'm doing, what a lot of people are doing, is it's whenever you're doing something new, you are going in uncharted territory. So to your ego, that means death. That's exactly what it means. Okay, so whenever we tackle that gremlin, we are able to see where this is kind of going, and understand that actually no, because it trickles down. And this is one of the practices that I go through with my clients, is tackling that self-doubt and that gremlin of the ego, killing the ego basically, and why it always ends in death. Okay, that's the ultimate fear. So this self-doubt is just a stage of the ego dying. So, it's the way that I like to think of it is, You want to be able to wake up with coffee in one hand and confidence in the other. Because if not, then, it's going to be really hard to achieve what you want to achieve in life if we are not confident that we do it. And think about it as like this is like riding a bike. If we, as kids, we have more confidence as kids usually because we don't have as much baggage against anything at that time, right? So we are still thinking that we can, rule the world. We can do all the things when we're kids. And then as we grow up, we pick up these ridiculous, beliefs from other people or from whatever, and they absorb in our subconscious. But think about it is if you're a kid and you're learning to ride a bike, okay, and you don't know how to ride a bike, but you're going to try. So you keep going and you keep going. And then eventually you get it. And then, oh, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm confident at doing it. It's no big deal. So it's the same thing with, literally it's just as easy as riding a bike whenever you get older. And, it just seems a lot scarier because you have so much evidence per se behind those self-doubts. So that's where, it can be very tricky. And the only way to fail is to let that self-doubt win, to let that fear win, to cave into that little voice in your head that's telling you you can't. So again, just figuring those out. So I have some growth work that you guys can do if you want to work on this. And I would love to hear how this helps you. This is what I'm doing myself. This is what I'm putting myself through. This is what I put my clients through. But this is what I am personally putting myself through right now because it is a very powerful exercise. So, I call it growth work because I don't like to say homework because it helps us grow. It helps us become better, at understanding ourselves. So number one would be, think about what would be possible for you if you knew you couldn't fail? If there was no self-doubt, if someone was saying, you can do anything you want to do. You can do anything you want to do. Think about that. Think about what would you do? And just write it down, just kind of just start writing and see where you end up. You never know. Number two would be take some time to, it could be, in the morning, at night, whenever, at lunch, whenever you want to, take some time and close your eyes and imagine the best version of you possible. Like the best version of you, in every area of your life, think about what would you act like? What would you be doing if you were showing up as the best version of you with no doubt, no nothing, that is who you really are. If you can envision that future self of you, that is who you really are. And if you can't, don't worry about it. Just keep trying. Okay. And again, don't judge yourself where you are at in this process. Just keep, focusing on, well, it might be a little baby steps at a time, but eventually you're going to go and then you're going to break through this fucking wall that is going to be like, holy shit, I'm amazing. Like I'm obsessed with myself, whatever, like I love myself. So, just keep going, so that's who you really are. And then let go of any part of you that doesn't believe that, and just write this down, like just keep track and write it down and just kind of see where you're at with this. And, again, just do this over and over. Just keep closing your eyes and visualizing yourself as that best version of you. And the last thing would be keep track of your inner critic. And what I mean by this is start to be mindful of this. A lot of times whenever we create awareness around this, it makes it stop by like 50%. Okay. And a lot of times, like even with my clients, like they'll say like once they notice that they're doing it, they're like, holy shit. Like it's, they catch it and they're like, this is ridiculous. And they catch a lot of other things too. So, keep track of that inner critic of yours. And maybe it is only waking you up at night. That's the only time that mine does it. But maybe it's during the day. Maybe it's whenever you're about to invest in yourself. Maybe it's when you're about to, I don't know, do something new, do something creative. Maybe put yourself out there. Maybe post something online, like post a blog, whatever. Start something new, start a website, start a business. Like maybe that's the only time that it pops up. But whenever it does pop up, just be mindful of it and be ready and prepared with, new framed affirmations of, and again, that's all about reworking that belief. So you got to find out what those beliefs are first before you can rewire the affirmations. Okay. So figure out what they are and just keep track of them. Keep track of them and, be mindful and just start creating that awareness around it so that you can start taking down the walls. And once you start taking down the walls, you will start seeing more success. You will start feeling more abundant. You will start feeling like you are on top of the world because you're confident. Whenever we're confident, we're not scared. We don't cave into fear, right? So, all right, that's what I have for you guys tonight. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that this was helpful. If you are going to do the growth work, feel free to let me know if you need any help with that, or leave it in the comments if you found some breakthroughs. Send me a DM, whatever you want to do. This is something that's really important and it's really awesome to, kind of watch people go through. Okay. So I'm here to be your cheerleader as to how to, how to get there, how to become that best version of you. So, all right, I am going to jump off and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. I will see you tomorrow.